The ex-con, the golden girl, and the Thanksgiving silence. Look, every family has that one person who can do no wrong. In mine, it's my cousin Elena. She's not just pretty, she's ruin your life gorgeous. Long blonde hair, eyes that change color with the light, and a smile that makes men forget their own names. But here's the thing about Elena, she's a predator. Ever since I turned 18, Elena made it her mission to test every man I brought home. It started small. A lingering hug at Christmas, a wrong number text at midnight. By the time I was 25, she had successfully poached 3 of my boyfriends. The worst part? My family. My mom would just sigh and say, "Claire, she's just charismatic. Don't be so insecure." My Aunt Sarah would actually laugh and tell me I should work on my feminine energy if I wanted to keep a man interested. I wasn't just losing boyfriends, I was losing my mind. I felt invisible. I felt like a placeholder until they saw the real prize. I stopped dating for 3 years. I couldn't take the humiliation. But then I met Jax. Jax didn't find me at a bar or on an app. We met at a volunteer program for post-prison reintegration. Jax had just finished a 5-year sentence for a high-stakes robbery he committed when he was 19. He wasn't a bad guy. He was a kid who made a massive mistake and paid for it in a concrete box. He was different. He was covered in tattoos, but his voice was like velvet. He didn't play games. He didn't have a smartphone for the first month we dated because he wanted to relearn the world. He looked at me, not like I was a trophy, but like I was the only person in a crowded room. I loved him, but I was terrified. Taking an ex-con to meet a family of judgmental suburbanites was one thing, but taking him to Elena? That was suicide. Thanksgiving dinner, Michigan. The air was crisp, and the house smelled like rosemary and tension. I told Jax everything. I told him about Elena's games. I told him she would try to touch him, flirt with him, and make him feel like the most important man on earth. Jax just adjusted his collar, looked at his reflection, and said, "Claire, I've dealt with life sentence inmates and corrupt guards. I think I can handle a girl in a sundress." We walked in. The room went silent. My dad looked at Jax's neck tattoos like they were active explosives. My mom looked like she wanted to cry. And then there was Elena. She was wearing a silk dress that was definitely 3 sizes too small for a family dinner. She didn't even say hi to me. She walked straight to Jax, put her hand on his bicep, boldly, and said, "Oh, so this is the dangerous man I've heard about. I'm Elena. I've always had a thing for trouble." I felt my heart sink. Here we go again. Throughout dinner, Elena was relentless. She sat directly across from Jax. She kept accidentally dropping her napkin so she could lean over. She asked him graphic questions about prison, trying to make him feel uncomfortable or edgy. She whispered to him, "You must be so bored with my cousin. She's so predictable. Don't you miss the adrenaline?" Jax didn't flinch. He didn't even look at her chest. He just kept eating his turkey. Finally, when Elena tried to slide her foot toward his under the table, Jax stopped eating. He put his fork down. The whole table went quiet. He looked Elena straight in the eye, the kind of look that makes a person feel like they're being scanned by a laser. He said, "You know, in the yard there are people like you. We call them leeches. They don't have anything of their own, so they try to steal the light from others to feel alive." Elena's smile froze. Jax continued, his voice calm but heavy like lead. "I spent 5 years in a room the size of your closet. I learned how to read people because my life depended on it. And right now, I see a girl who is so incredibly lonely that she's willing to disrespect her own family just for a hit of validation. It's not attractive, Elena. It's actually kind of pathetic." My Aunt Sarah gasped. My mom's jaw hit the floor. Elena turned a shade of red I didn't know existed. She burst into tears and ran out of the room. For the first time in my life, nobody followed her. My dad cleared his throat, looked at Jax and said, "Pass the gravy, son." In the car on the way home, I was shaking. I asked Jax, "Weren't you tempted? She's the most beautiful woman in the state." Jax pulled the car over, took my face in his hands and said, "Claire, beauty is common. Loyalty, honesty, That's rare. I didn't survive 5 years of hell to come home and settle for a fake. I chose you, and I'll keep choosing you every time she tries. That night, for the first time in 28 years, I didn't feel invisible. I felt like the golden child, except my gold was real, and hers was just cheap plating.